How do you feel today walking through the ghetto in Krakow?
I actually like to absorb it all first, and on a first impression, which is this is for me,
yes.
to come here,
yeah.
I have to actually feel that, because I think the past is really important, that we understand the past before we can even look at the present.
Krakow was known as the most vibrant and wealthy community of Jews in the whole of Europe in the 19th and 20th, early 20th century. It was the area which most Jews wanted to be in.
And to be here, where a Jewish population lived from I think it was about the 13th century onwards, and then were pushed out and taken to the ghettos where we're going to go and see later, just brings home the absolute reality and the horror of the dispossessed people that were then eventually worked to death and murdered in the gas chambers, etc. And the thing about being here is you can't help feel something about the horrors. There's no escaping.
I came on the UAF trip because I think it's really important that, you know, younger people witnessed what happened, and you know, that idea that, you know, we won't be doomed to repeat the mistakes made in history.
People say it's abstract, don't they, coming to Auschwitz and Krakow and things like that, and it's just a remnant of history, but it's not abstract when you think about how much the National Front are pulling in France, or you think about Jobbik, or you think about the EDL or the BNP in Britain. This is the reality of the lives of some of the most vulnerable people in society, so... What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Well, people that were persecuted were thrown into the ghetto. Can you imagine? They made it like tombstones. See, I got a Jewish family, and in Leeds, at the Jewish cemetery, they laid the tombstones flat because fascists used to kick them over and like damage them. You know what I mean? It ain't an abstract argument. It's happening all over the world.
This building here is the start of the ghetto.
Right.
There were 4 gates, 4 guarded gates, to which you were not allowed out, and if you tried to escape, you were shot. This square is called Bohaterova Square. It's been renamed Ghetto Hero Square. On March the 13th, in this square, 1943, Ghetto B people were ordered to assemble on this square. And it was to become the bloodiest day in the ghetto's history. German troops surrounded the whole square and attempted to herd the people into transport. The 2,000 resisted, and they were shot. They were just shot in the streets. They tried to escape, and the place was littered with bodies, really. The 3,000 left, so there were 5,000 people in Ghetto B, right, including the children, were sent directly to the gas chambers in Auschwitz. Now, the chairs that you see, there's 70 of them, and they are a memorial to what happened on that, in the ghetto generally, and on that day.
Today you're going on a coach to Auschwitz from Krakow.
Yeah.
What do you think you're going to find there, and how do you think you're going to feel?
Obviously we all know what happened there, and it's just thinking about how the world or people just kind of let it happen in a sense, because it's not that long ago, thinking about how millions of people on the basis of their race, religion, sexuality, disability were massacred on an industrial scale. It's heartbreaking.
It's quite overwhelming, I suppose. unimaginable horror that went on in those rooms. I'm lost for words, really.
I'm just really overwhelmed about what we've seen, about it's just the vastness of what happened, how many people they killed. But I feel really pleased that I've come on this trip with UAF, that we've got really supportive people on the trip and that everyone's like-minded and understand why we're here. And more than anything else, that when we go back to England, we have to continue to fight fascism.
I'm coming up to the front gate of Birkenau. You can't believe how many hundreds of thousands of people came through this gate in crowded railway trucks to die here.
To be honest, I'm still struggling to comprehend with what we saw yesterday. I think some of the various bits that brought it home to me, we went into one of the sheds and that there was just pictures of people all the way along the wall, and that was just a tiny segment of what went on.
Ruby, can you tell me what you're going to go back to the UK with, your thoughts about visiting Auschwitz?
I think obviously it was like a very shocking experience, but something that I really took from it was a video that we watched before we went, and at the end, after the camp was liberated, there were some women reading a declaration asking the people of the world, for the sake of humanity, to never forget what had happened and to make sure that it never happened again. And I thought that was a really important message to take back. We need to tell everyone that this is, well, we need to tell everyone what we saw and use it to help in the fight to make sure that it never happens again.